It's DSP's most disappointing games of 2015. Number 8, Godzilla the video game. So, this game is kind of unique in the fact that even though it is a new release for Western audiences, it had already really been out in Japan for quite a while, and it just took them a really long time to translate the things going on in the game into English. Now, listen, I am a huge fan of Godzilla, as well as the other giant monsters which are now termed kaiju. I watched the Godzilla movies as a kid. I loved the big rubber suits, and then of course, I loved how they did the more modern ones, and then in the 1990s they made that shitty abomination, the American Godzilla, and I vomited all over the place in the movie theater. But I digress. I am a huge fan of Godzilla. So when it was announced that this game was coming to American shores this year, I was very pumped. It came out during a month in July, when there really wasn't a lot going on, so there was a lot of time to play it. And I played it for 3 sessions, and by the time that I had literally done everything there was to do in the game. There's a very short campaign mode, and I say that very, very selectively because there really is not much of a campaign. You're just going through a tree of missions, fighting different kaiju monsters in a different order, and by the time you beat it, you unlock either other kaiju or abilities for your monster that you can upgrade them, which then in turn allows you to replay that branch at maybe a different difficulty level and unlock maybe a final secret boss fight, which is kind of cool. But outside of that, the only other real thing to do is multiplayer, which really is very short-sighted, boring, and after you play it a few times, you'll probably never want to do it again. So, $60 for a game that delivers when it says it's going to give you kind of kaiju-style action, but really doesn't translate well into a video game. If you want my opinion, this game should have either been sold for a discounted budget price of around $20 to $25, or quite honestly, never should have existed. And this is coming from a huge Godzilla fan. I had a blast playing it, but there was no way in hell that I could justify a full $60 retail price tag for a game that you can beat in a few sittings and has little to no replayability once you unlock most of the fun monsters. Godzilla was a ripoff. It's a big shame that it was, but it is what it is, and it'll go down as a forgotten entry in gaming. Up next on the countdown, a game developer that was already highly criticized for its last release puts out another one that's even more polarizing, and this time I really feel that I can't defend them. Check it out next.